Hello there everyone, and this is Rackets96 here back with another video. Tonight's video is on my custom 2017 loadout I've been working on for the end of 2016, getting it ready at the beginning of 2017, and now I am finally ready to post my video for it. So first off, I'm going to start off by saying that the paint scheme for this video is very clear. It is a black vinyl dye primer with a dark red automotive base coat and a very shiny clear coat. Multiple layers of clear to make them as shiny as possible, and I really like red, black, and the orange definitely adds to it with a little bit of white here and there just for some detailing. So we're going to dive right on into my primary. Now generally I would run a few different blasters as a primary, but I wanted something I feel more than comfortable with picking up and going. Something I wouldn't have to be worried about getting comfortable or adjusting to, so something I used a lot was a Strife. I use Strifes all the time, whether it's a firing demo or just having fun. So I built myself a crazy Strife. One that I feel more than comfortable using day to day, as well as from war to war. So here she is. This is Zephyr. Right here, nice and easy. Zephyr is a combination of many companies' parts. Back here we have a blue worker stock, of course painted black to match because blue is all I could get my hands on ahead of time. This extended battery door here from 3D Printed Solid, now of course not endorsed, just purchased the part off of Etsy, and that is of course hiding a 3S LiPo. Very nice, 11.1 volts, more than enough to power the 180 blade motors hiding underneath the 180 cage. The integration there is not so clean, but cleaner than some of my others, so I'm very happy with that. Then there's just some very thick PLA plastic covering up the actual teeth, as I call them, to make it nice, clean, and sleek. Down here is a flared magwell from Black Steel Props. I believe that is the name of the Etsy shop as well. That did take a while to get here. I ordered it back in the beginning of February, and I just received it 2 days ago. I actually just finished this up today for the video by integrating the magwell and of course doing that with liquid epoxy to make sure that doesn't come loose on its own. But of course, like I said, powering it is 3S LiPo and 180 motors, and of course the battery is a little bit discharged at this point. It is this is her normal battery, but I was actually just testing another blaster which will be running off of a 2S, but of course this being slightly discharged, that was more than enough. So that of course will be charged up for wars, but this is Zephyr. Now Zephyr has one very unique thing that kind of separates it from me between a normal rifle, a one-hand wieldable pistol. Could use it for both, but what makes it a true full primary for me is I made a barrel attachment for it. Now her barrel attachment is a Recon barrel mated to a underslung Master Key style Baron. So modifications to the barrel, I painted it and integrated a Baron to it. The Baron's trigger has been severely cut down for this very crude but very effective integration. Super sturdy. I would rely on the plastic probably breaking here and around the handle actually bending and warping before the bond actually broke. It is bonded with hot glue to set it, then of course hot glue removed, and then the liquid epoxy fully cured, and then epoxy putty to strengthen the bond. Not too worried about the aesthetics. She's not going to win any beauty contests, but she'll certainly win a Nerf war. Modifications to the Baron. This is actually the Baron I used in my mods video. The Baron I featured there, so same exact thing, just the trigger's cut down, and the trigger spring's been upgraded a little bit to help with the modifications. So the only modification I physically did to the Baron, that was adding a barrel attachment, and she has many barrel attachments. I'm actually going to go over them all very quickly. So of course the Baron is normally fired using Mega Darts. In this case we have Nerf Megas loaded, of course wrong barrel, and there we go. So she fires Nerf Mega Darts pretty easy. So, but with the air restrictor removed, can easily fire, here's one, can easily fire a Mega round. Not really effective. The Megas go anywhere from 60 to 70 feet depending on your angle of the blaster. The rival rounds only go about 30 from this specific barrel, but then I felt like, hey, I might as well shoot elite darts. I'm gonna have elite darts on me, so I made it an elite barrel. This is the front barrel from a Night Finder that I just happened to have laying around, made it to a normal style mega barrel, but the inside to a normal Nerf barrel. It's wide enough, and it nests perfectly inside there. And of course, this is sealed with hot glue and super glue to make a perfect bond. So it is loaded with one Elite, and it's a modified mega gun shooting a single Elite barrel, which is crazy. It shoots them really, really far. It averages about 80 to 85 feet on a 100-foot range with no wind and nothing like that, no arc. Of course, you can arc this thing. You're not going to hit anything shooting at 100 feet, but it definitely can do it if it had to. So this was my final version of my Elite barrel. Not perfect, but aesthetically pleasing. Before that, I had some crude orientations. This is a air restrictor system out of a Recon, glued to, again, a same piece of a broken barrel, so that would just slide in. And same with this one. This is actually CPVC, one size too small for an Elite. Found that out the hard way. So, of course, that one actually fired on the prime there. So, these barrels were good milestones. Wouldn't use them in a war, of course, but they were good stepping stones until I built a perfect barrel. So next up, I wanted a better barrel to shoot rival rounds. So I actually made one. This is a internal barrel from a Mega Blaster that I actually honed out a bit and actually gave myself a little notch to actually hold the rival round in. I'm not sure which barrel we fired at last. And unfortunately, I got the same range. This barrel was complete garbage. The next kind of ammunition was Boomco. And this is my crude Boomco barrel that I had at the time. It was a piece of brass with the same CPVC with brass nested inside of it. It was really, really good stuff, but of course, it was a little bit loose. So, I made this one, which physically holds the dart in until you shake it. It's a very loose fit, but it's tight enough because there's a little bit of hot glue in the back. Right around here, you can see. That is physically holding it in and making it a tight fit, and of course it's orange on orange and no cleanup on the outside. And this barrel will physically shoot a Boomco dart anywhere from about 50 to 60 feet, as good as I can expect from a non-perfect seal. Next up was the final. It was supposed to be the final orientation of an Elite barrel. Of course, we have a little bit of a worn Elite dart in here, but this was the one I was so happy with. I even trimmed it off, sanded it, but I didn't like how far the dart sat out. And of course, when I range tested all these, the Elite barrels were firing better and better and better and better. This one was actually a little bit worse. There was a problem with the seal on it back here. The way the hot glue was nesting, it was not perfect. So that had to go. So that was Zephyr's front barrel attachment, and it has a pretty special place in my heart because, again, I did go through all the work of making barrels for it, which I didn't really have to make. So moving on was Zephyr's original sidearm. I built a sidearm as soon as I started making her, painted them at the same time, and it was pretty special to me. It came out to be a little bit of a underestimated project. It was pretty simple, pretty easy, and I didn't actually do the modifications myself. So this here is a K26 brass barrel fire strike from actually Captain Xavier. His Etsy page, I purchased it. He did all the mods. I just put some epoxy putty in here to actually strengthen the bond there up. And I would not recommend looking down the barrel, but Elite in there. And of course it has a K26 and all the dead space has been removed, and she'll shoot a Elite dart 90 to 100 feet. That Elite dart won't go straight, but she'll fishtail a bit because, again, the brass is nested inside the actual barrel itself, but it goes pretty far. You won't aim what you're hitting at 100 feet, but you can definitely get someone in 30 to 50, which is normally normal engaging range unless you have an air-powered blaster or anything like that. Generally, the only time this really came in use was I was recently at a war. Finally getting warm around me here in New Jersey, so it did come in. I actually had it primed, hooked on my belt, and I literally flicked it up like this, and I fired it, and it literally tagged someone 60 feet away. I wasn't aiming for them. I was aiming for a guy that was about 30 feet away, figured I could get him, and the dart just started fishtailing and right into his center mass, and I got him. He called his hit. Clearly he was out, but wasn't intended. But this thing shoots pretty good. I'm very, very, very proud of that. So next up was the addition, because the sidearm, once a single shot sidearm, was not perfect. So next up came the trusty hammer shot. This hammer shot, of course, painted the same scheme, just like everything else. Still has the 5-shot cylinder, because I believe if you need more than 5 shots, you might as well get a different blaster, or just carry more blasters, or have this in a holster and only use it for those 5 shots. Of course, you can put 8-shot cylinders, 7-shot cylinders, everything like that, but I'm kind of happy with the 5. I don't know why, plus it's orange. Gotta love the orange. But it has a 8-kilogram spring from Orange Modworks. Air restrictor has been left in because I don't like dry firing my blasters, but if I do, I don't want to risk breaking it because I took the air restrictor out. I want to make sure my blasters are safe. God forbid I give them to someone and they're firing off 5, and there's the 6th, and now, you know, the plunger tube could possibly crack because I have dry fired this thing, and sometimes the air restrictor does not fully engage because of the massive weight. Sometimes it does give way a bit. So that's the hammer shot. Pretty cool, and I love it. So moving on was pretty much, they were built at the same time, is my modified strong arm. And my strong arm was just to make a strong arm. I personally really like the strong arm, and it's a super nice blaster to plink around with, fire off, slam fire, 6 shots. But it was made side by side with the hammer shot because I like both. But what I did is it has the same 6-kilogram spring, clearly just made for the strong arm, same paint scheme, but I wanted to do the removable barrel mod. So I have about 7 cylinders for many strong arms I physically had, and I actually ordered about 5 cylinders from a eBay user who just happened to be selling them. That's where the clear one came from. I actually have a clear strong arm back there, but it's pretty fun. I mean, I personally really enjoy the strong arm. I think the strong arm will always have a place in Nerf because of the removable cylinders, even though it has been replaced by the Disruptor. I do think it still definitely has its place in Nerf, and these removable cylinders makes life so much easier because they're so easy to carry in a dump pouch with extra darts. So once that happened, the next one was pretty easy of a decision. I was actually at a war, and I saw someone using this, and I was like, no, that can't be practical. You can't modify those to extreme extent because of their odd system and how they prime and how they have their magazine feeding. And then he fired it, and it easily shot a good 70 feet, and it wasn't necessarily straight, but I didn't know it was possible until I finally cracked one open and played with it a bit. And that is the Nerf Star Wars Raise Blaster. And of course, you can modify these using a retaliator spring if you tighten the coils in there, because the way the floating plunger head is, it's a little bit annoying. So what I did is I didn't even put that spring in there. I believe there's 3 springs in here. You can kind of hear them catching in there. And of course the air restrictor has been left in. Of course paint job matches. And of course it is a internal magazine, so you'll load and then fire. Can hold 4 darts, and of course on the prime you load your first one. So this blaster was a no-brainer to add in. It would be decently hard to make a holster for, considering I have a brand new tactical rig, which I am going to share with you guys either on this channel, or I'm planning on making a second channel or changing the channel name. I'll put that in a different video. Maybe it'll be right after this one, but this one's going to be long. So that blaster was a no-brainer to physically make because I enjoy it. Next up was a shotgun. Again, no-brainer on a shotgun, but there's actually no modifications to this rough cut except for the paint job. That's it. Just paint. No modifications. And I actually put in a tougher trigger spring so you can easily single it or double it if you so choose. Last but not least were just some backup pistols. I wanted something that was specific and could still take my mini barrel attachments. If my barrel attachment were to go down or I didn't feel like lugging it around, I could easily put my Elite barrel in here and fire it that way. It looks pretty stupid when I carry a modified knockoff Stinger Jolt, which actually has a hammer shot spring inside of it with its AR removed. Hammer shot springs fit in here because the knockoffs, the plunger head screws off. So in here, this tiny little space, which it catches, is a hammer shot spring. And a really good air seal, so I will not doubt that thing. Oh, that was the, that. So next up, I wanted something that was specifically Boomco. I don't really like running Boomco guns, but I feel like they have their place. So yeah, I wanted something that, no, I didn't choose something that could run Boomco. What I did is, I'm okay with running physical Boomco blasters. I have no problem with it. Boomco blasters are great, but the Halo M6 pistol is great, and I didn't really want to run that many Boomco rounds. I don't like physically carrying Boomco rounds. They're kind of annoying. So I made mine Shoot Elites. And it shoots them pretty damn well. There is a whole lot of springage in here. There's 2 far shot springs plus the original spring, which is pretty much the same performance you get from a K26. It actually has been tested as far as I know. If not, I'm wrong, but this gets crazy good performance. And it's 1732 brass, the same brass we use for everything else. And it perfectly fits inside here with no sanding. And it nests in there and holds in there perfectly. So I will not question it. Here's another dart, and it's wonderful to twist fit or leave preloaded. Of course, the dart doesn't go all the way in because Boomco darts do stick out. But this thing is crazy loud and shoots elite darts 95 feet. Again, because of the design of the elite dart, you're not going to hit anything at 95 feet, but it's really nice. Just, you know, it doesn't have any dart storage. Working on that. So that is honestly it, guys. Anything else, I just carry some tactical socks because you never know when you're going to need them. 3 of them, actually. And just some sights. This is a pinpoint sight, a true pinpoint sight. And just the flip-up sight just for fun, because I think it looks cool and it's definitely fun to use. Try and, you know, aim that. Nope, it's that way. Try and aim that up, or you can just lob it, you know, wherever you really want to, or you just have the overhead. Decent. No pain, no gain, guys. So thank you very much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will have a video coming out within either the next few days or right after this one comes up, completely describing what I'm trying to do, and possibly a channel change or a name change. Thank you guys very much for watching again, and I'll see you guys in that video. Peace out.